Citizens of Liberty Hill, this upcoming election on May 3rd is very important because it will decide whether our city moves in the direction of liberty or tyranny. Hi, I'm Pastor Bill Brannon with the Liberty Hill Voters Association. It might sound like an exaggeration when I tell you that the next election will determine whether our city moves in the direction of liberty or tyranny, but that is what it does. Our founding fathers understood that liberty is not usually lost by a cataclysmic event, but rather by small encroachments upon liberty. Those encroachments always appear as an angel of light, and many of the people who support them do not realize what is going on. That is what is happening in Liberty Hill right now. Liberty Hill is currently seeking a Dark Skies International certification and is writing ordinances to meet their standards. Personally, I believe the best government is local government and would prefer our elected officials would make the interests and rights of our citizens more important than an international organization. Right now, the ordinance passed in 2022, which goes into full effect in August 2027, states that if you are out of compliance with the ordinance, you are guilty of a Class C misdemeanor with penalties of $50 per day for every day you are out of compliance. If the city sends you a notice that you're out of compliance, you could also receive civil penalties of up to $500 per day. So what does compliance look like? If your neighbor can see your light bulb or your lights are improperly shielded, you are out of compliance. If light crosses the boundary of your property, you are out of compliance. If you put the wrong color light bulb in or the bulb has too many lumens, you are out of compliance. If you have more than 25,000 lumens on the outside of your property, you are out of compliance. If you use the wrong holiday lights or have holiday lights that are displayed more than 60 calendar days in the year, you are out of compliance. If you are out of compliance or require a permit with the city, you will need to file a lighting plan with the city showing the location and brand of every light fixture and bulb outside on your property, including their lumens and Kelvin and total lumens. These ordinances are part of a growing regulation state that operates on the principle of big government rather than limited government. Taxpayers will be on the hook not only to bring their homes into compliance, but to pay for city compliance officers and the cost of administering these regulations. These ordinances are being promoted with the slogan, "Save our stars." Don't you want to be able to go outside and see the stars at night? Don't you want your grandchildren to be able to visit you and see the stars at night? These are things that all of us would want, but not at the cost of liberty and not when it grows a regulation state. One of the slogans used is, "We do not want to become like Austin." The problem is that growing a regulation state like this ordinance does is the epitome of becoming like Austin. People are also promoting this with the implication that if we care about God's creation or other people, we would vote to save the stars. We all care about those things, but have different convictions on what is most important for human flourishing. I would be all for them using persuasion to convince people to live in a way that meets their standards, but not to coerce people. I value people's freedom of conscience, belief, and thought. These people have a vision for what they want and a will to impose it upon all citizens. That is the opposite of liberty. They are forcing their opinion regarding aesthetics upon other citizens. I'm not opposed to reasonable ordinances that we agree upon to protect citizens and to preserve beauty, but they must be reasonable. These ordinances go too far. My friend Mike lives in Liberty Park, where Amanda Young is the president of the HOA and is an admin on their Facebook page. Amanda wrote a post in support of Dark Skies, and Mike wrote a thoughtful and sometimes humorous response. In response to her saying that without this ordinance, citizens would have no recourse if someone had a camera and a light pointed at their child's window. The ordinance says nothing about cameras, by the way. Citizens would have zero recourse without this ordinance. He stated, "I would talk with my neighbor. We as a society are losing the ability to have a friendly chat with the people living around us. I don't need a nanny state to settle disputes in my neighborhood. Perhaps this hypothetical neighbor had a break-in at one point, and now security is most paramount to them. I can install blackout curtains and everybody wins. We need not have the local government playing as arbiter. As long as I don't have a bat signal in my front yard, I think we're good." What was the response to my friend's desire to have a conversation and promote ideas from a different perspective? He was removed from his neighborhood's Facebook page, and his comments were deleted. That is not the world of liberty that I hope Liberty Hill will embrace. We are making these videos because we want citizens to know what is at stake in this important election. If you are in support of a regulation state, communism, Marxism, big government, government control, I support your freedom to do so, and I support you working to bring Liberty Hill in line with your values. Those are opposite values than the ones I hold, and I hope to persuade people to get out and vote on May 3rd to secure the principles of liberty in Liberty Hill.